Hello and welcome. My name is Melissa McVie, and I am the Education and Home Support Facilitator with the Ontario Association of Residents' Councils. The following is a recording of the Residents' Bill of Rights for long-term care home residents as read from the Ontario Long-Term Care Homes Act 2007. Now, there are 27 rights in this document, and I will review each individually. Every licensee of a long-term care home shall ensure that the following rights of residents are fully respected and promoted. Number 1, every resident has the right to be treated with courtesy and respect and in a way that fully recognizes the resident's individuality and respects the resident's dignity. 2, every resident has the right to be protected from abuse. 3, every resident has the right not to be neglected by the licensee or staff. 4, every resident has the right to be properly sheltered, fed, clothed, groomed, and cared for in a manner consistent with his or her needs. 5, every resident has the right to live in a safe and clean environment. 6, every resident has the right to exercise the rights of a citizen. 7, every resident has the right to be told who is responsible for and who is providing the resident's direct care. 8, every resident has the right to be afforded privacy in treatment and in caring for his or her personal needs. 9, every resident has the right to have his or her participation in decision-making respected. 10, every resident has the right to keep and display personal possessions, pictures, and furnishings in his or her room, subject to safety requirements and the rights of other residents. 11. Now, number 11 has 4 parts, and I will review each separately. 11.1, every resident has the right to participate fully in the development, implementation, review, and revision of his or her plan of care. 11, number 2, every resident has the right to give or refuse consent to any treatment, care, or services for which his or her consent is required by law, and to be informed of the consequences of giving or refusing consent. 11.3, every resident has the right to participate fully in making any decision concerning any aspect of his or her care, including any decision concerning his or her admission, discharge, or transfer to or from a long-term care home or a secure unit, and to obtain an independent opinion with regard to any of those matters. In 11, Part 4, every resident has the right to have his or her personal health information within the meaning of the Personal Health Information Protection Act 2004, kept confidential in accordance with that act, and to have access to his or her records of personal health information, including his or her plan of care in accordance with that act. Number 12, every resident has the right to receive care and assistance towards independence based on a restorative care philosophy to maximize independence to the greatest extent possible. 13, Every resident has the right not to be restrained except in the limited circumstances provided for under this Act and subject to the requirements provided for under this Act. 14. Every resident has the right to communicate in confidence, receive visitors of his or her choice, and consult in private with any person without interference. 15. Every resident who is dying or who is very ill has the right to have family and friends present 24 hours per day. 16. Every resident has the right to designate a person to receive information concerning any transfer or any hospitalization of the resident, and to have that person receive that information immediately. 17. Every resident has the right to raise concerns or recommend changes in policies and services on behalf of himself or herself or others to the following persons and organizations without interference and without fear of coercion, discrimination, or reprisal, whether directed at the resident or anyone else. Number 1, the Residence Council. 2, the Family Council. 3, the licensee, and if the licensee is a corporation, the directors and officers of the corporation, and the case of a home approved, in the case of a home approved under Part 8, a member of the Committee of Management for the home under Section 132, or of the Board of Management for the home under Section 125 or 129. Number 4, staff members. 5, government officials. 6, any other person inside or outside the long-term care home. 18. Every resident has the right to form friendships and relationships and to participate in the life of the long-term care home. 19. Every resident has the right to have his or her lifestyle and choices respected. 20. Every resident has the right to participate in the Residence Council. 21. Every resident has the right to meet privately with his or her spouse or another person in a room that assures privacy. 22. Every resident has the right to share a room with another resident according to their mutual wishes if appropriate accommodation is available. 23. Every resident has the right to pursue social, cultural, religious, spiritual, and any other interests to develop his or her potential and to be given reasonable assistance by the licensee to pursue these interests and to develop his or her potential. 24. Every resident has the right to be informed in writing of any law, rule, or policy affecting services provided to the resident and of the procedures for initiating complaints. 25. Every resident has the right to manage his or her own financial affairs unless the resident lacks the legal capacity to do so. 26. Every resident has the right to be given access to protected outdoor areas in order to enjoy outdoor activity, unless the physical setting makes this impossible. 27. Every resident has the right to have any friend, family member, or other person of importance to the resident attend any meeting with the licensee or the staff of the home. Thank you for joining us today.